Sometimes I find myself thinking that things have to go a certain way, or else it just isn't right, or the way it should be. Linda would tell you that that's all the time. And since it's her birthday today, I can't disagree with her. It may just be that that is the way I like to see things go. When I get used to something, I don't want to see it change, even if there is a good reason, or because it can't keep going the way it has. Circumstances can change things, even when we don't want to. When our daughter graduated from high school, we shared with her that we were thinking about putting our names in for a new call and moving. She responded in tears that then she would not have a home to come back to. As I reflected on that moment and where we were in our church lives today, I realized how deeply that connection to a place can push aside what a home really is and reveal the deep emotional connections a person often has to a place. A church is like that too. As much as we claim to be open to the Spirit's guiding in whatever directions that leads us, we resist it if it isn't going the way we want it to. We often only define something in one way, and if it isn't that way, it isn't what the word means. Home, church, church home. The word church, from its German roots, seems to refer to a house of worship, which makes sense when we think about the church as the building where we go to, a destination. Now, if we look to the New Testament, we find that the meaning of the word used, ecclesia, really refers to an assembly or gathering. So it's really not so much the building as it is those who gather in community. So the church then is really better understood as those gathered, and not the structure in which that community is housed. This is especially important in this time as we struggle with ways to be together when it's not safe to gather inside our buildings. In 1 Peter 2, we are told that we are living stones and to let ourselves be built up into a spiritual house. This reminds me that though our building is closed, the church is never closed. The church building is closed for the health and safety of the people. And still, we are the people of God in all times, in all places, online, in our homes, even as spiritual stones, building up God's kingdom in our surrounding community. We are the gathered who are sent out for the good of the world and for the well-being of our neighbor. These are hard times. This continuing and resurging pandemic is hard. The economic distress in people's lives is hard and devastating. Deep-seated societal problems are reshaping our country's narrative. Decision-making around worship and ministry practices has been a challenge, to put it mildly, as we faithfully try to balance wisdom and caution with our real longing to have physical human contact. We've had to think about what it indeed means to be the church in the world and in our communities. It is more than a physical place to gather. It is a group of people knit together by our baptisms in the body of Christ that is bigger than our building or any structure, that spans both time and every place. Is the church still there, even though our doors are closed? If it is not, was it really there to begin with?